Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. And even though I can't do proper uploads, I really wanted to do this video real quick, right? Since the PlayStation 4 Pro, basically, that announcement has been made. It's been shown to light. There's a PS4 Slim and all that. You know what? Sony's literally, either they are lying to you, or like, I can smell BS from this. I can smell BS from this whole presentation. It was full of crap. You didn't tell me you wanted a better GPU and a better CPU only so that you could just pretty up the games that are currently out, and that most of the developers are going to be using the exact same assets that they're using for the PS4 for the PS4 Pro. They're not going to make any better versions of these assets. So either one or two things has happened. They're still going to be working in the 1080p, 720 to 1080p range. Well, there's one of three things. They're still going to be working in the 1080p, 720p range as far as the development of their resources. They might have bumped up to 2K as far as the development of their resources. Or the long shot here, which I am not believing to be the case, they are actually developing their resources in 4K and then adjusting them down. I don't think that's the case. Firstly, because the PS4K is coming with a 1 terabyte hard drive, which is only double what the PS4 has come with. Now, riddle me this. If I am going to increase the file size of my games, which is something that they've negated to talk about, if I am potentially going to increase the file size of my games 4 times what they currently are, and people complain about them being too big now. If I'm potentially going to increase the file sizes 4 times, why would I only give you double the storage? Why would I only give you double the storage if I am potentially increasing the file size 4-fold? It could even be bigger than that. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they're in the 2K range. I think that's the likely scenario, that the resources are being developed in 2K and being used back and forth between 1080p and 4K. That way, they'll look crisp and clear and all that in 1080p, but then when they are put on a device that has a higher quality display, they'll look better. And that would actually make absolute sense if that's what they're doing. And the file sizes wouldn't get as dramatically bigger. That's why I looked at that. You're only doubling the amount of storage. Shouldn't you put a 2 terabyte, at the very least, a 2 terabyte hard drive on this? I'm just thinking. I'm seriously just thinking. Now, they are jumping the gun too. They're putting this out. What did they say? November 11th of this year. Like, it's going to be out this year. Microsoft at least is given until next year before they drop theirs. So that means that there's definitely, as far as hardware is concerned, I'm picturing the Scorpio is probably literally going to be head and shoulders above the PS4 Pro as far as technology is concerned. Wow. I was just like, wow. You're only showing me that you're prettying up the games. You're not showing me that new dynamics with the AI. You're not showing me a range of possible physics changes with newer games. You're not showing me that. You're just showing me that the games are going to be prettier. Isn't that the exact same problem that we have now? Is that we're going from we went from the 7th generation to the current 8th generation, and most of the games that we have are just prettier versions of what was already out. It's literally just prettier versions of what was already out, and that's all that they're doing. I don't know if everybody else is looking at this the same way I'm looking at it. And, keywords here. Keywords here. Like he was trying to say that they are transforming the experience. I can't remember the guy's name. Like it just escapes me at the moment. But you guys know the guy with the longer hair, like looks like an office geek. Like, dude, I'm literally like all you're talking about is upscaling. You're talking about, like, you've, in fancy terms, you spelled out upscaling. Like, you finagled your wording just enough to make it sound different. But if you think about what he said, they're going to be using the same models. It's going to look sharper and clear. It's upscaling. That's all it is. If that's really the case, that's all it is. You're paying for a device that's just going to upscale to 4K. That's exactly what you're paying for. Like, and I don't blame people if that's what they want. But the way it sounded to me is that it's just talking about upscaling to 4K. They're not talking about producing any assets within that range. They're talking about using the ones that they currently have and making them look prettier. Like, that's upscaling. That's all that is. It's not. To put it in simple terms, they're lying. They're lying about it being a dedicated true 4K machine. Like, I don't believe that's a dedicated true 4K machine. Like, not that I really care. Like, but if you're really going to push this, then at least be real about it. Don't try to go around, beat around the bush. Don't. Like, there's no way that they properly developed that, and it's going to work perfectly out the box. There are going to be tons of issues with these things, especially if they're trying to drop them in November. They're trying to drop. No, it said it was November 16th. I said 11th. It was November 16th. They're trying to drop these in November. Like, unless they literally started working on these right after PS4 dropped, which I don't see how they would have been able to. Sensibly, I don't see how that would have worked. I swear. I just feel like everybody, like, people are being duped. I just feel like people are being duped right out the box. I feel people are being duped. They're being lied to and being told, hey, we've made this much better machine and it's going to do all the things that you want it to do. Or all the things that we're telling you it's going to do. And I have a feeling it's not going to. Now, on 4K video streaming and all that, I believe them on that. That's fine. I'm not denying that. But in this case, wouldn't that really just make the PS4 Pro equivalent to the Xbox One S? If that is really the case. Or slightly better than the Xbox One S. As far as mechanical parts are concerned. I couldn't help it. I had to do this. I had to do this video. Like, if you're really just going to make prettier versions of what's already out, why? Why waste the effort? If that's all that's going to happen, is this stuff is going to be prettier. Like, no reworked AIs, no better performing AI, no advanced evolving AI, none of this stuff. But Nintendo can do it on the Wii U. Let me put that into perspective again. Nintendo can make advancing AIs on the Wii U. But all Sony's next platform is going to give is prettier versions of the exact same games. Let me reiterate that. Just prettier versions of the exact same games. Why waste the money? And it's forward compatibility. I swear I wanted to smack that man in his face when he said that. Forward compatibility? Seriously? You're making a new term for BS. Forward compatibility. We call this forward compatibility, but this is not a different console generation. How? If you wanted to be technical, about this, then the PS2 was a forward compatible device because PS1 games could be played on it. PS3 was a forward compatible device when it launched because PS2 and PS1 games could be played on it. How does that make sense? Because the games look a little bit prettier? That's a stupid. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with my rant. The terminology was dumb. Like, that would literally mean that the Wii U and the Wii, as well as the 3DS, the DS, the Game Boy Advance, all of those would be forward compatible devices because you could play the same damn games from the previous generation on them. The only difference that I can think of is that these are slightly prettier. But the difference is those were different generations. They're claiming this to be the same generation, but you're talking about a different type of compatibility. But do you know how stupid that sounds? And people are going to eat this up. They're going to revel in it, and they're going to roll around in it like pigs. I'm done. You guys just have, you know what? Peace out.